Ladies and gentlemen, let them love, let them doubt, let them mock, let them count you out. Because while they're running their mouths, you're running toward your destiny. While they're talking about what you can't do, you're doing what they said was impossible. Your silence today will leave them speechless tomorrow. And when you finally reveal what you've been building in the dark, their laughter will turn into shock. Listen to me right now. The loudest statement you'll ever make is the one you make without words. The most powerful response you'll ever give is the one you give through results. The most devastating blow you'll ever deliver to your doubters is the one you deliver through silence, followed by success. They're laughing at you now. Good. Let them laugh, because their laughter is fuel for your fire. Their doubt is motivation for your grind. Their mockery is energy for your hustle. You know what kills doubters? Not your words, not your arguments, not your explanations. What kills doubters is your silence followed by your success. What shocks them into speechlessness is your refusal to engage with their negativity while you're busy creating undeniable results. What leaves them absolutely stunned is when you emerge from the die shadows with achievements so remarkable that their slaughter dies in their throats. Silence shocks doubters because they spub you to react. They want you to argue. They need you to defend yourself. They're hoping you'll waste your energy trying to convince them they're wrong. But when you give them nothing, when you give them pure, absolute, unshakable silence, you rob them of the satisfaction they're seeking. You deny them the drama they're craving. You refuse them the attention they're desperate for. And while they're sitting there confused by your silence, wondering why you're not responding, questioning why you're not defending yourself, you're in the lab. You're in the GYM. You're at the desk. You're doing the work that will eventually make them eat every word they said about you. You're building the success that will make them regret every doubt they express. You're creating the results that will make them wish they had believed in you. Let me tell you something about doubters. They're lewd, they're vocal, they're opinionated. They have something to say about everything you're doing and everything you're trying to accomplish. They'll tell you why it won't work. They'll explain why you're not good enough. They'll list all the reasons you're going to fail. They'll predict your downfall with absolute certainty. And they'll do all of this with confidence, not because they know you, but because they don't know them sleeves. People who doubt you are really just projecting their own limitations onto you. People who mock your dreams are really just advertising their own lack of vision. People who laugh at your ambition are really just revealing their own lack of courage. They're telling you that they couldn't do it, so they don't believe you can do it. But their limitations are not your limitations. Their failures are not your destiny. Their lack of belief is not your reality. Silence shocks doubters because it refuses to accept their narrative. When you stay silent in the face of their doubt, when you refuse to engage with their negativity, when you decline to participate in their prediction of your failure, you're making a statement. You're saying, your opinion of me is so irrelevant that I won't even waste breath responding to it. You're declaring your doubt is so insignificant that I won't even acknowledge it. You're announcing your lack of belief is so meaningless that I let my results do all the responding. And that refusal to engage, that decision to stay silent, that choice to let your work speak for you, it infuriates doubters. It drives them crazy. It makes them obsessed with you because they can't understand how you're not affected by their words. They can't comprehend how you're not bothered by their doubts. They can't figure out how you're remaining so focused and so confident despite their mockery. Your silence becomes a mystery to them. Your peace becomes a puzzle. Your confidence becomes a conundrum. They're spending all their energy trying to break you, trying to discourage you, trying to stop you, and you're not even a nudge in their efforts. You're too busy working. You're too focused on winning. You're too committed to sitting. Let them laugh now. Let them have their moment. Let them enjoy their temporary satisfaction of mocking your dreams. Because every laugh they make now is setting them up for the shock they'll experience later. Every word of doubt they speak now is preparing them for the speedlessness they'll feel later. Every prediction of your failure they make now is positioning them for the stunned silence they'll exhibit later. Silence shocks doubters because it builds anti-citation. When you refuse to engage, when you stay quiet, when you work in the shadows, people start to wonder. They start to question. They start to get curious. What's he doing? What's she working on? Why isn't he responding? Why isn't she defending herself? Your silence creates an information vacuum, and that vacuum builds suspense, and that suspense creates impact when you finally reveal what you've been building. Think about the greatest comebacks in history. Think about the most shocking success stories. Think about the most remarkable turnarounds. They all had one thing in common: silency before the storm. The person who was doubted stayed quiet, worked in obscurity, built in the darkness, and then exploded onto the scene with results so undeniable that everyone who doubted them was left shocked. Your silence is strategic. Your quietness is calculated. Your refusal to engage is intentional. You're not silent because you're scared. You're silent because you're smart. You're not quiet because you're weak. You're quiet because you're wise. You're not refusing to engage because you can't defend yourself. You're refusing to engage because defending yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you is a waste of time. And time is the most valuable commodity you have. Every second you spend arguing with doubters is a second you're not spending building your dreams. Every minute you waste defending yourself to critics is a minute you're not investing in your success. Every hour you dedicate to convincing people who don't want to be convinced is an hour stolen from your destiny. So let them laugh, let them doubt, let them mock. While they're busy running their mouths, you're busy running your race. While they're occupied with criticizing your journey, you're occupied with completing your journey. While they're focused on your potential failure, you're focused on your inevitable success. Silence shocks doubters because they underestimate you. When you're quiet, when you're not responding, when you're not defending, they assume you're defeated. They think you've given up. They believe they've won. They celebrate prematurely. They pop champagne before the game is over. They declare victory before the battle is finished. And that premature celebration sets them up for the devastating shock when you prove them wrong. Let them underestimate you. Let them count you out. Let them write you off. Because while they're sleeping on you, you're waking up to your potential. While they're dismissing you, you're developing yourself. While they're ignoring you, you're improving yourself. Their underestimation is your advantage. Their doubt is your fuel. Is your fuel. Their mockery is your motivation. Every great champion was doubted. Every legendary success was mocked. Every historic achievement was questioned. Muhammad Ali was doubted. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. JK. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. The list goes on and on. And what did all these people have in common? They let their silency and their work shock the doubters into speechlessness. They didn't waste time arguing. They didn't waste energy defending. They didn't waste breath explaining. They just put their head down and worked. Yeah. They stayed silent and let their results do the talking. They refused to engage with the negativity and instead engaged with the work. And when they finally emerged with undeniable success, the same people who laughed at them couldn't say a word. Silence shocks doubters because it's unique spares did. In a world where everyone is constantly defending themselves, explaining themselves, justifying themselves, your silence stands out. In a culture where everyone feels the need to respond to every criticism, address every doubt, answer every question, your refusal to engage is powerful. You're not playing the game they expect you to play. You're not following the script they wrote for you. You're operating on a different level. And that different level of operation is what creates the shock. When people expect you to be defensive and you're confident. When they expect you to be discouraged and you're determined. When they expect you to quit and you persistence. When they expect you to fail and you succeed. That's when their laughter turns to shock. That's when their mockery turns to silence. That's when their doubt turns to disbelief. Let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to work in silence. You're going to build in obscurity. You're going to grow in the shadows. You're going to develop when nobody's watching. You're going to improve when nobody's noticing. You're going to transform when nobody's paying attention. And then one day, you're going to step into the light with results so impressive, with achievements so remarkable, with success so undeniable that everyone who doubted you will be shocked into absolute silence. Airway wishes is the way they won't know what to say. They won't know what to say. They won't know how to respond. They won't know where to look. Because the person they were laughing at is now succeeding beyond their wildest imagination. The person they were mocking is now achieving what they said was impossible. The person they counted out is now winning in ways they never predicted. Silence shocks doubters, but here's what you need to understand. Your silence must be backed by action. Silence without work is just avoidance. Quietness without effort is just hiding. Refusal to engage without results is just cowardice. Your silence only shocks doubters when it's followed by success. Your quietness only creates impact when it's paired with achievement. Your refusal to engage only matters when you're actually doing the work. So while you're staying silent, you better be grinding. While you're refusing to engage, you better be executing. While you're not defending yourself, you better be developing yourself. Your silence is your choice, but your work is your responsibility. You can choose not to respond to doubters, but you must choose to respond to your destiny. The shock comes from the contrast. The impact comes from the surprise. The power comes from the reveal. When people see someone who was quiet suddenly emerge as a champion, when they witness someone who was dismissed suddenly dominate their field, when they observe someone who was mocked suddenly master their craft, that's when the shock happens. That's when the speechlessness occurs. That's when the doubters are left with nothing to say. Silence shocks doubters because it proves them wrong without saying a word. Your success is the argument they can't refute. Your achievement is the evidence they can't deny. Your results are the proof they can't dismiss. You don't need to defend yourself with words when you can prove yourself with work. You don't need to argue with critics when you can answer them with results. You don't need to convince doubters when you can convert them with success. And here's the beautiful thing. When your silence is followed by success, when your quietness is followed by achievement, when your refusal to engage is followed by victory, the doubters don't just become silent, they become supporters. The mockers don't just stop laughing, they start applauding. The critics don't just stop criticizing, they start celebrating. Because your results are so undeniable that they have no choice but to recognize your greatness. But don't do it for them. Don't stay silent for the doubters. Don't work hard to prove critics wrong. Don't build your success just to shock people who didn't believe in you. Do it for you. Do it for your vision. Do it for your dreams. Do it for your destiny. Let the shock to the doubters be a byproduct of your pursuit of excellence, not the Jimmy goal. Because here's the truth. If you're working just to prove doubters wrong, you're still giving them power over you. If you're building just to shock critics, you're still letting them control your motivation. If you're succeeding just to make mockers speechless, you're still allowing them to be the center of your story. Your success should be about you, not about them. Silence shocks doubters, but more importantly, silence serves you. It protects your energy. It preserves your focus. It guards your peace. It shields your vision. It maintains your motivation. Your silence isn't about them. It's about you. It's about creating the optimal conditions for your success. It's about eliminating distractions that would slow you down. It's about removing obstacles that would hold you back. The doubters, they're just background noise. They're just extras in your story. They're just spectators in your journey. They don't determine your destination. They don't control your outcome. They don't define your potential. You do. And when you understand that, when you truly internalize that truth, their laughter doesn't hurt you. It follows you. Their doubt doesn't discourage you. It drives you. Their mockery doesn't defeat you. It motivates you. Let them laugh now because you'll be laughing later, all the way to the finish line. Let them mock now because you'll be celebrating later on the mountaintop of success. Let them doubt now because you'll be proving them wrong later with results that speak louder than their words ever could. Silence shocks doubters because it's the ultimate power move. It says, I don't need your approval to pursue my dreams. It declares, I don't need your belief to achieve my goals. It announces, I don't need your support to reach my destiny. It's a statement of independence from their opinion. It's a declaration of freedom from their judgment. It's an announcement of confidence in yourself. And when you operate from that place of independence, from that position of freedom, from that foundation of confidence, you become unstoppable. You become relentless. You become inevitable because you're no longer controlled by what people think. You're no longer manipulated by what people say. You're no longer influenced by what people believe. You're driven by your vision. You're motivated by your goals. You're committed to your dreams. The greatest revenge is massive success. The best response is undeniable results. The perfect answer is remarkable achievement. So stop trying to prove doubters wrong with words and start proving them wrong with work. Stop trying to convince critics with arguments and start convincing them with accomplishments. Stop trying to change minds with explanations and start changing minds with execution. Your silence today is creating a foundation for their shock tomorrow. Your quietness now is building the platform for their speechlessness later. Your refusal to engage currently is constructing the stage for their disbelief eventually. Every day you choose silence over argument, you're increasing the impact of your eventual success. Every moment you choose work over defense, you're amplifying the shock of your eventual achievement. Silence shocks doubters, and you're about to deliver the shock of a lift-to-me. You're about to emerge from the shadows with success so bright it blinds the critics. You're about to step into the spotlight with achievements so great it silences the mockers. You're about to reveal results so remarkable that doubters will have nothing left to say. But you've got to stay committed to the silence. You've got to remain focused on the work. You've got to keep grinding when they're laughing. You've got to keep building when they're mocking. You've got to keep pushing when they're doubting, because the shock only comes if you finish. The speechlessness only happens if you succeed. The impact only occurs if you deliver. So I'm challenging you right now. Embrace the silence. Welcome the doubt. Accept the mockery. Let it all fuel your fire. Let it all fuel your fire. Let it all feed your hunger. Let it all strengthen your resolve. Use their laughter as your soundtrack while you work. Use their doubt as your motivation while you grind. Use their mockery as your inspiration while you build. And when you finally achieve what they said was impossible, when you finally accomplish what they said you couldn't do, when you finally succeed where they said you would fail, your silence will have delivered the most devastating shock they've ever experienced. Your quietness will have created the most powerful impact they've ever witnessed. Your refusal to engage will have generated the most shocking result they've ever seen. Let them laugh now. Their shock is coming. Let them doubt now. Their speechlessness is approaching. Let them mock now. Their silence is inevitable. Because you're not just working, you're working with perverb. You're not just building, you're building with intelligence. You're not just pushing, you're pushing with determination. Silence shocks doubters when it's backed by relentless work, when it's supported by unwavering commitment, when it's reinforced by undeniable results. So stop talking and start working. Stop defending and start delivering. Stop explaining and start executing. Let your silence be lewd. Let your quietness be powerful. Let your work be shocking. The doubters are watching. The critics are waiting. The mockers are expecting you to fail. So don't just prove them wrong. Shock them with how right you were all along. Don't just succeed. Stun them with the magnitude of your success. Don't just achieve, amaze them with the level of your achievement. Your silence is your weapon. Your work is your ammunition. Your results are your victory. So load up that weapon. Fire that ammunition. Claim that victory. Let the doubters laugh now because their shock is coming soon. Let them mock today because their speechlessness is arriving tomorrow. Let them doubt in this moment because your success is coming in the next. Silence shocks doubters. And you're about to deliver a shock that echoes through eternity. You're about to create speechlessness that lasts forever. You're about to achieve results that they'll talk about for generations. So go make it happen. Go shock the world. Go leave the doubters speechless. Now go! Stop reading this and start shocking them. Get to work. Get in your grind. Get on your path. Let your silences speak and your results shock. The world is waiting to see what you've been building in the dark. The doubters are waiting to be proven wrong. The mockers are waiting to be left speechless. So give them what they're waiting for. Unkneeable, shocking, breathtaking success. Let's go.